Hi, thank you for joining me for what I'm calling a loc crossover. Before we begin, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button to show some channel love. Now, what a loc crossover is changing your hairstyle from one type of loc to a different type of loc. Now, why I'm doing this is, of course, because of the time involved in retightening, the actually getting a loc technician that will be able to do my hair, also the cost. Now, what I have noticed is I have been doing my locks myself for the end of the month will make about 11 years. And I've been using the interloc system, which is similar to that of the sister locs. When I decide to change over, well, of course, if you see one of my earlier videos, you see that I had a problem with locating a loc technician that would do my sister locs how I wanted them done, and therefore I did them myself. So since that time, I'm deciding I want to see about changing over to the twist, not the palm roll. Palm rolling takes a little bit more wear and tear on the hair. Also, because my locks are really thin, it would create a lot of damage to that hair. So the palm rolling involves a lot of friction because you're putting the hair in between your palms and you're rolling it back and forth. Also, I've noticed over the years with many of the people that have the interloc systems, their hair tends to look like it's thinning. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me show you what that means. So let me get this out of the way. When you look at someone's hair, this is a patch of hair or section of the scalp. The hair is thinning, or the hair looks sparse. It's not that many strands per square inch. Although when you say people's hair is thick, it generally is talking about the density of the hair, which means there's a ton of strands per square inch on the hair. So this will make the hair look thick and full, and this will make the hair look sort of like it's thinning, but some people's hair is naturally thin. That means they don't have that much hair density per square inch of their scalp. And so it will make their hair look thinner. So this one, you can see more of the scalp, and this one you see more of the hair or the hairstyle. But I noticed that quite a few people, they have length on their hair, their locks are gorgeous, but the hair is thinning. And it's a premature type of thinning because some people, DNA will cause them to thin, the hair to thin or have alopecia, balding, and some people will not. If this is prematurely happening, then it can be, you can stop it. Now, what you'll need for this loc crossover, again, I used to use just a little small loc tool. All right, so this was a tool that I used to do the interloc on my hair. Just this little small tool. And those are easy to make. I think there's a video that shows how to make that. But what you'll need, so this is going to be a type of a journey because this will be the third time I did this. Depends on your hair texture and the density of your hair, how long it will take for your hair to lock. So it's a trial and error type thing. My daughter's hair is much denser than mine, and it takes her hair about a month to start locking. So if you have a different, and that's a mixed grade or textures of hair, her hair ranges in texture from fine to coarse, and that's on the one scalp. So by hers being denser than mine, it will probably take hers a shorter period of time to lock than mine does. So I have to keep that in mind. which I wasn't thinking about that before because I was so used to the interlock system. All right, so what you'll need for this particular thing, and these are the tools that I'm going to use. I have duckbill clamps, and that's to hold the hair while I'm working it. Some type of bands to hold the hair to the side, get it out of the way. It can be different size bands. And these little small anti-breakage type things to keep from breaking the hair off. These you can use for the ends of the hair if you braid the hair down or put the hair in a style that you don't want it to unravel. Also, you'll need locking gel and locking wax. So what I've done here is, of course, you know, I have my own formula. I've used the wax and I've used the locking gel. And this, again, is the third time I'm attempting this. So what I did was I made my own mixture that I normally use for my hair, and that's in a previous video, I've noted that, but I've added some gel to this. So it has a really nice scent. Now they have gel that is good for hair, they call it resistant. If the hair takes a little longer to lock, then you use the stronger gel. That's really all it is a stronger gel. The gel is going to hold the hair in place in the sections and in place so that it will begin to lock for you naturally. And again, when it takes a little longer for the hair to lock naturally, unless you're doing the palm rolling technique. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera around and show you what I do. All right, so here we go. And I'm just going to show you a small section. So I'm going to just pull a few out here. Just let me get a few of them out of the way. And you can corn roll the hair back or style the hair back so that it is in a style. What I will tell you is when you corn roll the hair back and then take it loose, it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm just going to put these bands on here just to get the hair out of the way. And I'm just demonstrating this. I'll probably have to take these loose so that I can make sure the parts are straight and everything. One thing I didn't tell you was a blow dryer. If you don't have a hair dryer that you can sit under while your hair dries, you can use a blow dryer to just spot dry it in the places. But I spot dry it and then I braid it down and corn roll it and then I spot dry it. So now this is what I'm going to do. And the only thing you're going to address is this new growth area here, the area that is loose and needs to lock. And twist it in one direction. That's it. And now it's over out the way. So now you use the duckbill clamp to clamp it over here out of the way. You go to the next one. And again, this mixture, I have my gel and my hair preparation all together. And all this, the duckbill clamp is doing is holding the ones out of the way that I have already twisted. Now see how thin this is? What's going to happen is the lock has caused it to be like a string. So it's pretty strong. When I twist it, twisting it down is going to make the twisted section a little thinner than this lock, the interlock section. And when I do a large section, I'm just applying it to a little, just one lock at a time. But when I do a large section, I'll go through and let me show you what I'll do. I'll go through and place it down here to make sure at the scalp the section is damp. It doesn't have to be extremely wet. That's up to you how much you use. Now, one thing I'll tell you, even though I'm having to use the locking wax and the locking gel, you can get them from anywhere. I think the cheapest I've seen them was like $5, $4 and something, $5 a container. So you get 2 different ones. That's $10. This is if you're going to do it yourself, and that's $10. And you can lock your hair at least 5, 6 times, maybe more, depends on the new growth and how much stuff you're using. It was hard for me to find a lock technician to do the interlocking system, but let me tell you, there are tons of people that will retighten your locks, tons of technicians that will use the twist method to retighten your locks. So now I'm just going to the next one. See, these are really thin. See how thin those are? And so I may end up having to, over time, connect to, which I didn't want because I like the thin look of the locks. And so all you have to do is, I can use a clamp over on this side to keep these out of the way, but I don't generally do that because I just feel for them. All right. Now, sometimes your locking gel will dry up if you don't put a lot on there, which I didn't put a lot on there. But let me tell you, when I did this the last 2 times, the first 2 times, it only took me about 3 hours. And this is all you do. And so that will, putting the lock products on a larger section will cause it to go faster. So let me get that clamp out of the way because that's slowing it down. And all you're doing is twisting it and putting it over to the side. These are the ones that are loose. You're just making sure that you twist the section that is not interlocked. You'll be able to see on one of these. I'm going to do one of these, and you'll be able to see the difference in size. Okay, that's done. Now let's see if you can see this. Let's grab a sheet of paper here. Now, see that? Here is interlock here, and here is a twisted section. And right where they meet, you can see right where they meet, there's a little difference in thickness. So I twisted it as tight as possible, but you can see there is a difference in thickness. It's not that bad on these that are a little larger, but on the really thin ones, it will look like they're about to pop. And because I'm not in the mirror, when I'm not in the mirror, I have to feel and make sure the part is as close as being cleared as possible. See if you can see this better. So here it is here. That's the full section here. That new growth there. And all I'm going to do is wet there, and all I'm going to do is twist it in one direction. Just keep twisting it in one direction until it goes down to the scalp. It doesn't have to be tight. You don't want it tight on your scalp. And if you braid them down, you don't want it tight either, because that will cause the hair to pop out at the scalp, which will make you go prematurely bald. So see, that's thin there, and then it gets thicker up here. And that's the difference. And I don't want to stress that spot too much because it will cause it to break. I want to make sure you see what I'm doing. And after reviewing some of that tape, I realized you really can't see anything but my hands in the way. So I want to show this. I've added a little, I've sectioned this piece off. Don't mind these sections here. I'm just adding the preparation on here. And what it'll do also is it'll soften the hair and make it easy to pull the little pieces of hair that are tangled in the other lock. It makes it easier to pull out. So like here, there's a few down there on the bottom. By me putting the gel and the locking preparation on there, it makes it easier to kind of pull these out of the other one. They'll slide out much easier. Now, what I want to show you is this. Sometimes the locks thin because they're breaking close to the scalp area. And when that hair grows, it will just be kind of loose down here. And it will keep the parts from looking separated. So what you do too is after you dampen it moisten it with the locking preparation, what I like to do is make sure there's nothing else around it here, pull up these loose strands and twist them down there. And then I can come up further on the lock and twist it. You're twisting it in one direction. The great thing about this twisting system is you can use both hands to twist. So you use one hand. Watch this, I'm gonna pull these hairs up. I'm gathering all these loose strands that I can feel. Come up a little closer because all of this is loose. So I'm gonna gather these loose strands down here at the bottom and twist. Then I'm going to come up some and twist. And I'll use the other hand to hold it in place and twist. I can twist with this hand and with this hand, the same strand. And what it will do is it will cause the time that I need to twist each one to lessen because I'm using two hands to twist. I'm twisting and holding, twisting and holding. That's what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to separate that. Come a little closer so you can see with all the extraneous hairs that aren't there. Then I'm going to come down here at the base because all of this has to be twisted. Come down here at the base, pull all those strands up. That's all I'm doing, making sure the strands are up in here. Twist it slightly. Doesn't matter what direction, but I try to twist in the same direction for all the locks. And then I can come up further and keep twisting. Twist, twist, twist and hold, twist, hold, twist, hold, twist. And it's twisted all the way down. So you twist with one hand, hold with the other, and then the hand that you're holding with will twist with that. It just makes it easier. Twist with this one, hold with that one, to just kind of move your hand along the strand or regrip the strand itself. And that makes it much easier and makes it go much faster. Then you just pull a section away. See the two sections are there together. You separate those two. And I tend to pull the loose strands. I'll get the loose strands. Yeah, you can twist both of them at the same time, but I like to twist in the same direction. So just twist. And it's twisting with one hand. It doesn't have to be super tight at the scalp. Now, once the hair starts locking, it'll puff up a little bit, but there will still be a difference between the interlock section and this other section because of the thickness of the hair. And that's when I'll monitor it to make sure the hair doesn't break at those points. So here we go. We'll do one more. This is the new growth that needs to be locked. I have the gel on there, and I'm just twisting in one direction. Twist and hold, twist and hold. That's it. And then set it over to the side. What I've done already, I'm done with most of it. What I've done already is I've twisted it all, and I have it sitting here until it dries. Most of this feels like it's dry. These are the strands, the stray strands that, as you can see, it's always some stray strands when you do the interlock because of the way you're threading the hair. But I can go back later and refine that by putting gel on it and twisting it around itself. All right, so hopefully that's a better view of how you do the twisting, the locking, the twist method of locking. See, all of this is done. This part is dry, done and dry. You can hit it with the blow dryer, or you can let it air dry. Now, all I have to do, since I have this section here, see, they're all twisted there, and all I need to do is hit that with the blow dryer, or I can just band it on the side with a tie and let it sit, and they won't unravel. So they will unravel because you're just twisting it. It's not like the interlock, but the interlock system, once you do it, it's set. Then you can just apply whatever you want, moisturizer to it or whatever. But it's locked. As soon as you do it, it's locked. With this, you have to dry that gel because the gel is going to hold it in place until it will start locking. The strands, individual strands will start locking. That's what you're doing. That's the only thing that happens when you lock. The hair just kind of tangles up upon itself and it stays in place. So you have to keep these in place until then. So if you corn roll the hair back, when you take it down, it will have a really nice deep wave pattern to it. It looks gorgeous. So that part is done. Now, if I like, I can band it like that. Let's take this off. I can just do a braid. And if so, I'm making sure, see how I'm catching it down there so that here doesn't come loose. And then you can braid the rest of it, or you can leave it loose on the ends if you like. But the main thing is to keep this section twisted until it dries and the gel dries, and then it begins to lock. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and complete the whole head because it is definitely time to redo this. The back is much longer than the front, or much more in need of retwisting, because sometimes I just spot twist it, which means I'll just twist the front and leave the back. So the back has about 3 inches that needs to be twisted. So this is my 3rd time, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. But this is a Loc crossover, and this part is going to be somewhat of a journey for me because I'm having to use all these extra things. However, the time that it takes is unbelievably short. It may take me 3 hours. It may not take that long. My hair is a little dense. So I have close to 800 locks, I think 700 plus locks on my head. Last time I counted, and I joined a few together because they were thin, breaking off. And the really thin ones here in the front, I'm always getting caught on stuff when I lift up, especially the oven, the handle of the oven snatches them out. And that's why I have short ones up here in the front. And that's why I'm missing some in the front, because they just snatch them out and I can feel it when it happens. So, and maybe you want to try your Loc crossover. You may have to join a few locks together if they're too thin, which is no problem. You just twist the 2 locks together and keep it going. All right, so hope that helps in case you are, excuse me, in case your hair is thinning and you want to transition from the interlock system to a twisted system, not the palm roll, because that will take more stress on the hair, but the twisted system, I think the price difference in getting the hair twisted by a lock technician that will twist the hair is going to, you'll find, will be much, much cheaper than getting the interlock retightened. So you're going to do some pros and cons. There are pros and cons for both of them. Now, if you go to a lock technician to do the retightening and the retwisting, they'll have all the products and you won't have to get those products. However, if you want to try it yourself, you'll find it's much quicker. It only took me about 3 hours, I tell you, to redo all of this. And this is a lot, but what are you going to do? So hope that helps you. If you have not, show some channel love by hitting the like and the subscribe button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you think, or if you have some questions about it. All right. So thanks for joining me. Until next time.